Hi and welcome to website design. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to send an email from our website. So in our previous example we created our dynamic website using PHP, and PHP coding is server-side programming. Now the same with an email, sending an email from a website is a server task. So we will need to use PHP to send an email. For instance, a confirmation email that a query was submitted to a client when he's inquiring about a certain service or product maybe on the website. So let's get into the coding and see how we would do this. So in our previous example we had our dynamic web page. We had an index file, that index.php file that combined our header, navbar, either the contact, package, about or home page together with the footer, and it created our full web page. Then we had a contact HTML, and I'm going to drag the header HTML here in as well. Inside our contact HTML we just specified contact. So what we will do is we will create two input boxes for contact, and the user will be then be able to enter his name and also his email address into the input boxes. So what we will do is inside our contact.html page, I'm going to make contact heading 2, going to add a new line, another new line, and then I'm going to say name, and then input. The type is then going to be text, and I'm going to give this input box an ID of name, and then I'm going to add a new line again, another new line, and then an email input. Okay, so I'm going to ask input type text ID, and I'm going to say email. Okay, so now I've got two input boxes. I've got another new line here, and then I'm going to have a button input. So it's going to be type submit. Okay, and that's a button, and we're going to have a value of submit request, and then we will have an on-click event, and we're going to call a JavaScript function now that will grab our name and our email from this input boxes. So in this JavaScript function will be send email. Okay, and then we're going to add our new line and another new line. Okay, so what in fact will happen here is we will have two input boxes and a submit button that will call, oops, there's an extra equal sign, that will call a on-click event, and this on-click event will trigger the send email function, a JavaScript function. So now if we go to header, inside our header we will go and create script tags, script. Okay, and then inside the script tags I'm going to create the function that I specified here. So this function I will now go and create. So I'm going to say function send email, and that will be my function. Okay, so this send email function will now go and grab the name from the input box, and we will say document.getElementById, and then the ID will be name dot value, and the same for the email address. We will say document get element by ID, the value, and that will be from the email ID. Okay, so just to confirm, we will have email and name, and we will get this now into our function here, name and email. Then after that, we will go and create a variable, and I'm going to call this variable XML HTTP. Okay, and this variable XML HTTP will be my request variable. Okay, now we're going to use XML HTTP request to actually send now the name and the email to a PHP file that will then in turn send the email to our client. But HTTP requests, XML HTTP requests, is not standardized for all browsers. So we need to go and check which browser are we actually using. So maybe your user of the website is using a old Internet Explorer 5, and then the HTTP request is not the same as for newer Internet Explorer. So we will check with the if statement. We will say if window XML HTTP request, okay, and here we will check now actually, and I'm just going to add it as a comment. This will be the code for Internet Explorer 7 and up. This will be for Firefox. This will work for Chrome and Opera and Safari. Okay, so this code will work for all the browsers, all the newest browsers as well. And then unfortunately, Windows with Internet Explorer 5 and 6, the HTTP request was different. So let's first do the new HTTP request. We say XML HTTP that variable. We say new XML HTTP request, and that's it. That's how we do our HTTP request on all the newer browsers. And for Internet Explorer, this is the code for Internet Explorer 5 and Internet Explorer 6. Unfortunately, it was not the same, so it's XML HTTP and it's new active X object, and then we say Microsoft.xml HTTP. Okay, so now we've got our XML HTTP request. We created the XML HTTP request. We've got our name and our email. And what we will do now is we will build the actual request. So what we will do is we will say XML HTTP dot open, and then in double inverted commas we will do a get, and then we will call a certain PHP file, and this file we will call send email dot PHP, and then we will have a question mark to send through the name, and the name will be name plus, and then a next parameter. What we will do is we will say and email will be equal to email. Okay, and then the last parameter will be true. Okay, so now what we've got here is actually we've got our XML HTTP request. We created that HTTP request, and then we've got either it for Internet Explorer 7 and up and the rest, and then if it's Internet Explorer 5 or 6, we do this request creation, and then we compile our actual request by doing a get. We're going to call this PHP file send email question mark name will be name and email will be email. Okay, and then true. And then the last thing that we will need to do is we will say XML HTTP dot send, and then we actually send the request. Okay, and that's it for the JavaScript coding. Okay, so we've got our function send email, and we've got our request, and we compile the request and actually send the request. Now if we minimize this, back to our main folder, inside our main website folder, I'm going to create now a send email.php file. Okay, and this send email PHP file will now be on the server, and we will actually go and write the PHP coding to send the email. So what we will do is we will say our PHP brackets, and then I always first close my brackets. Okay, and then with that parameters, that variables that we send through the URL, what we will do is I will have a variable called pname, and I will say underscore get, and I'm gonna get it the name, and then p email get the email. Okay, so now I've got the name and I've got the email, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say create a to email, and then I'm going to send it to the user. Okay, so the to is to the user. This will be a confirmation email. Okay, and then the subject, I'm going to create a subject, and the subject will be, the subject will be confirmation of client request, and I'm going to say it's for this client, pname, and then I'm going to create the message, and this message will be then, just one, this is a confirmation email. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say name, add that to name, and I'm going to say the user name that was given. Okay, add, and then again a new line, add, and that's it. I don't have to give the email address again. Okay, oh, let's add that email address, all the info. This will be definitely bigger, so we'd say email, and then p email, and we're done. Okay, so confirmation email, okay, semicolon, then this is the email, add that, add, perfect. And then what we will do is we will create a from, and this from will be from the email address of the company. Okay, so this will be my email address, and then I will create a header, and the header will then be actually from, then add from. Okay, and then what we'll do is simply we're going to say mail, and then to subject, I'm going to send the message, and then the header. Okay, so we've got to subject, message, and header, and that's how we send it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to open up my file manager here. Okay, let's see if I'm still logged in. Okay, so I need to quickly log in again to my file manager. So inside my file manager, I'm going to then update. Firstly, I'm going to add the send email.php file. Okay, so I'm uploading the send email.php file, and then inside my includes the contact and the header file I changed. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to upload the contact and header again, new ones. Okay, and it's advisable not to ever edit on a live website if you're doing this for a client, for instance, because you can then take down and make mistakes on his live websites that clients can see. Always first demo this, like this website is my demo website, so always do it first on a demo website. Okay, so let's go and double check. If I open my contacts, okay, needed to log in again. Okay, contacts.html, there you can see there's my coding, and then the header. Let's just check if everything is there. Okay, so we assume everything is there, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go to my actual website. Okay, so this is my website. I'm going to go to quick actions, view my site. Just going to put it there. So this is my website. Home, there's nothing at home, there's nothing at about. Packages, contact, we'll have now contact. There will be a name. I'm going to say demo website Tony 123, and then I'm going to say this is my client email, Anthony J. Smith, not the 2-1. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly log into my email address here, go to my emails just to confirm. Okay, so the last one was from Jan Venter. Okay, I'm going to submit the request. I submit the request, and then let's go back to my Gmail, and I'm going to quickly update, and there we have it. If we open this, this is confirmation email, name, demo, website Tony 123, email this. I just could add a new line there, but that's it. So let's quickly go and do that new line. Okay, so let's edit this send email.php, As you can see there, this is confirmation email. I didn't add a new line there, so just add a new line so that you can see it. We are actually making a difference on this. And now I'm going to say 2020 demo website Tony. I'm going to do another email. Back to here. Here's another email 2020. This confirmation email, name demo website 2020. Email that. Great. So that is how we send an email from the server to a client as a confirmation email. What you can do now is also send the same to the actual company website so that they can get that requests and can process that requests. So it's like kind of having a double backup, or if you don't do a database and your requests are logged onto a database, you can send an actual email from this to a company email, and someone just can go and look at the email address inbox every day to check all the inquiries from clients. So that's it. That's sending an email from our website using PHP. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.